Disclaimer: this is not my real voice. This content is just my imagination. I have never encountered these problems and solutions in our real lives. Why are 99% of students in Konoha plus 62 only capable of handling lower-order thinking skills questions? If you are a parent, have you ever asked why your child gets bad grades? Or have you seen their high scores and felt they don't reflect their true abilities? So, this means the situation is more terrifying than we thought. Let's trace the problem back to the initial question. Who is supposed to be educating our children so they can solve problems that require higher-order thinking skills? Yes, most of you would say teachers and parents, but the focus usually falls on the teachers who are given greater expectations in educating your child. Okay, perhaps you'll come to the argument that the teachers educating students in Konoha are producing 99% of students who can only handle lots questions. But wait, don't be so quick to judge. I'm tired of hearing parents blame teachers for not educating their children properly at school, while teachers blame parents for not managing their children well at home. On one hand, the problems parents face are certainly diverse, making them difficult for me to unravel. But when it comes to the problems of teachers, maybe I can break them down with my imagination. Let's start this case with the statement that the teachers in Konoha lack the competence to teach our students. Is that true? If yes, then why can incompetent people become teachers? Yes, because those who are competent, the smart ones, prefer to become doctors, managers, architects, or any other profession besides being a teacher. Try asking new university students in education majors like chemical education, biological education, economic education, education in ABSTEF, and so on with the question, what choice number was this program for you? Even more extreme, ask them, do you want to be a teacher after you graduate? If you investigate deeper, you will eventually find that those who are competent don't choose to become teachers due to welfare factors, and not just money, but other forms of well-being too, okay? If you find a teacher with competence on par with a doctor, a pilot, a director, or other professions you consider to be filled with very smart people in your community, think about how many of them there are and compare that to the total number of teachers around you. Then, with this welfare narrative, you conclude that there needs to be a significant improvement in teacher welfare to attract competent people to the profession. But wait, when will that happen? It will surely take time to demonstrate that teacher welfare is on the same level as that of doctors or other professions, and then for people to actually want to become teachers. And then, what about the teachers who are already here? Should they be fired? It's too extreme if you think like that. Think about the long term. I believe that the capabilities of our current teachers can, in general, be improved, but we must ensure their welfare is met first. The welfare I mean is feeling and receiving. Financial security. They don't have to be rich, but at the very least, it should be on par with other vital professions, like doctors. Workload, which includes administrative and teaching burdens. It's not just about reducing administrative tasks, not just about reducing teaching hours, but the teacher-to-student ratio must also be ideal. This is so they can divide their time to prepare lessons, conduct learning, evaluate it, have time for their own learning, be it through training or self-study, and have time for their children and spouses at home, as well as for their own personal lives. Infrastructure, facilities, and resources ensure these are met to a high standard. Don't ask for technology-based learning if there are no devices or internet, or if the classroom is hot, or ask them to read books when there are no books available, and so on. If their financial welfare, workload, and supporting infrastructure are met and they still don't want to improve their competence, then by all means, punish them. But if not, passing judgment, punishing, and firing them is a cruel thing to do. However, in ensuring this welfare, we will discover a new problem. My question is, if teacher welfare is improved, we will be faced with rising education costs. Who will bear them? The government or the student's parents. If the government is burdened with increased education costs, the state budget will swell. If the state budget increases, one of the consequences is that taxes will also increase, along with other chain effects. If the student's parents are burdened with increased education costs, then parents will have to find 1,000 ways to earn more income. This question must be answered with a full understanding and consistency in the decision. If parents consider the cost of education to be a problem, then don't ever think the 99% lots issue will be solved. Whether the burden of education cost is placed on the government or the parents, both will ultimately end up the same. Your expenses will increase. The only difference is if you hand it to the government, your taxes will go up. If it's handed to you, your monthly education fees will be handed to you. It's just a matter of indirect expenses and their scale. If this question isn't answered and acted upon with consistency, we will just be trapped in a paradox. We will only argue with each other, and only a small group of people will profit. A similar thing happens in higher education, the only difference being that a lecturer's workload is more complex. Watch my video, Paradigm versus Pampers. Are you only going to fix the education system? If we imagine a house facing a storm and an earthquake, right now you are only thinking about the layout of your house, while ignoring its foundation. Our foundation is still a problem. More imagination in the next video. The system has never been the problem. Our implementation and our politics are what make it problematic. Disclaimer: this is not my real voice. This content is just my imagination. I have never encountered these problems and solutions in our real lives.